I used to be called Mommy. In about middle school, Kyla transitioned to just Mom. Now, while it took a bit to get used to the me and Mommy being dropped, I am so grateful and humbled to be, turn head left, gaze dramatically at Kyla lovingly, your mom. A lot of you all know and have experienced Kyla, my sunshine, God's gift to the world, your personal cheerleader and motivator, dancing queen, actress, little kid magnet, a fun, caring, and compassionate young lady. Kyla is a joy igniter and has released that joy in every space and on every single stage ever since she made her grand entrance into this world. Kyla has a heart message for us today, and I believe her words of life are not only going to make you and I think differently, but invite us to an upgrade to do differently, and we'll be better for it. So please join me in welcoming to this mic, Miss Kyla Brooklyn Ford.
Today, I'm going to talk about math. If only freshman year me could hear what I just said, she would be so shocked to hear that I, Kyla Ford, was writing my senior speech about math, a subject that I've resented for years. This is one of the only opportunities I have to speak in front of the entire upper school, and I choose to talk about something I don't even like. That's so weird. No offense to all the math enthusiasts in the audience, but I am not fond of the subject at all. I genuinely don't understand the point. Yeah, we have taxes and stuff, but am I ever going to use sine, cosine, or tangent in the real world? Pushing all of my feelings for the subject aside, today, I want to talk about my personal math journey. Now, this speech isn't going to make you cry or give you some huge revelation that you'll continue to think about forever. I just hope it speaks to at least one person in the room, and I'll be lucky if it speaks to two. Growing up, I had never been a math genius. In my younger academic years, while everyone in class was excelling, I was in the corner crying, trying to figure out why my brain didn't work like everyone else's. I specifically remember breaking down in front of Mrs. Bowling because I didn't know how to solve a word problem. It seemed like I was the dumbest kid in my grade. Luckily, for the majority of my lower and middle school experience, everyone was in the same math class, so it didn't feel like I was too behind. Then the end-all be-all happened, my math placement test. The test that would determine the pace of my math journey for the rest of my high school career. Like you could expect, I was told I had to retake Algebra 1, and for the whole summer, my mind was filled with thoughts like, what will people think when they find out I have to retake Algebra 1? I'm going to be the laughingstock of the whole grade. As the school year crept closer, I started to be okay with my place, because I realized there was nothing I could do about it. So I put on my big girl kilt and prepared for the most interesting year of my life, freshman year. On my first day of freshman year, I was so excited that I had forgotten all about the anxiety that was math class. Then, of course, I was asked the very question that haunted me for the entire summer. Hey, what math class are you taking? I know they weren't expecting me to say that I was taking stats or multi, but something in my brain kept telling me that they were going to be so utterly disgusted by me being in Algebra 1 again. They eagerly waited for my answer, and when I finally mustered up the courage to say what math class I was taking, they just smiled and raised an eyebrow. A reaction that said, oh, I expected you to be higher than that, but I'm still going to smile so I don't come off as rude. The reaction from the student was small, but had a very large impact on me and what I thought of myself. I felt so stupid. I felt like I was just transported back to middle school math, silently struggling, begging God to make me smarter. From my freshman to sophomore year, I had grown terrified of anything having to do with math. I started to think that everyone, even my own mother, looked at me as a failure. For some odd reason, I thought that my mom would disown me because I was retaking Algebra 1, when in reality, she didn't really care. And neither did anyone else. No one really cared about the class I was in. No one cared that from a logistical standpoint, I was below average. No one cared that I wasn't the best at math because it didn't matter. I wasn't going to fail at life because of the math classes I took in high school. As I continued to grow and mature during my junior year, I realized that the path I was on wasn't anyone else's, it was my own. and I shouldn't worry about what other people thought of me. I know this sounds super cliche, but the math class I'm in does not define me. I'm still a hardworking student who continues to improve myself every day. Now that I'm healed and I'm here, I want to debunk the lie that says you are stupid for not being at the level that someone around you is. You are not stupid. You're not a bad student, you're not slow, you're not dumb. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are awesome and you are perfect where you are. Thinking you are stupid is a lie because all people learn at their own pace. Intelligence and capability are not defined by how good you are at something compared to others. The idea that everyone should be at the same level is unrealistic because it undermines the value of individual strengths. This mindset has taken me a while to fully believe, but now I'm confident and I'm embracing my journey. It's been 10 whole years of Kyla and collegiate math, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of my math teachers who still believed in me when I didn't believe in myself and tried to give up. I'm grateful to my wonderful mother for caring more about my heart than the letter on my transcript. And it pains me to say, but I'm grateful for math. I'm grateful for all of the quizzes, tests, zip strips, and gate checks. I'm grateful for all of the breakdowns and all of the panic attacks. I'm grateful for all of the F's, but I'm grateful for all of the A's too. Math has truly shaped me into a strong, resilient young woman, and I wouldn't be where I am today without it. If only freshman year me could hear what I just said, she'd be so shocked to hear that I, Kyla Ford, just delivered my senior speech about math. Thank you.
Our second speaker is Ashlynn Ellis. Ashlynn will be introduced by her former coach, Erica Richey.
Ashlynn is an amazing young person. I met Ashlynn her freshman year here at Collegiate when I was coaching. She seemed quiet at first, but I quickly learned her true self. Honest, caring, loving, funny, and a great leader. I knew Ashlynn and I had a connection when she called me Coachy. I smiled in my heart saying, because that is what I had called my high school coach, whom I loved. In that moment, I knew we had a bond that would last. I was glad to see our relationship was much like the one with my coach. I could not wait to see all that she will accomplish in life. I know she is going to do amazing things, and I'm so lucky that I get to be a part of her life. I've been blessed to be able to introduce Ashlynn.
When most people make mistakes, they automatically think of themselves as failures. Society has defined a mistake as something that one could never overcome. In reality, mistakes are just lessons. It is an opportunity to create self-improvement and to learn who you really are as a person. People believe that once they make a mistake, they are the mistake. High school students are commonly known to make mistakes and label themselves as failures. Teenagers, including myself, are always hard on themselves for silly mistakes that they make, when in reality, we are all just experiencing the teenage lifestyle all together at once. All of us teenagers are walking through life blindly, trying to guide each other, though none of us are perfect. This process can result in many mistakes being made, and that is okay. But it is not okay to believe your life has ended because of these mistakes. Because of the many mistakes that I made, I have thought I've ruined my life and future at times. My freshman year of high school, I was still a little middle schooler trying to learn her way through the upper school hallways. I made many different friends trying to find my people. Throughout this process, I made silly mistakes because I was still learning right from wrong. My sophomore year, my mistakes began to not feel so silly. Anyone who knows me well knows that I'm not a fan of physical touch, which is the polar opposite of my great-grandmother. My Gigi loved to hold people's hands and give hugs. Every time I saw her, she asked for a hug and kept asking them for 5 minutes straight. She would always become hurt when I didn't hug her every minute. It was never my intention to hurt her feelings. It was something that I just couldn't control. This was a mistake that I soon regretted. Entering my junior year, I was informed that my great-grandmother was not doing well, but I wasn't aware of how serious it was. One day, I began to look at old pictures of me and my Gigi, and I saw how sick she began to look. My dream was for her to live up until I graduated high school, so I began to tell myself that there was no need to be scared because she was going to be here for many more milestones. That was the worst thing I could have ever told myself, the worst mistake ever. November 30th, 2023, a day I will never forget. I was walking in math class with the biggest smile on my face. I saw my mother's car sitting outside in the circle, and I called her to make sure everything was okay. The only 3 words I remember is, "She's moved on." I became numb because I knew my beautiful Gigi was gone. All the mistakes I've made began to run through my mind. Why didn't I spend every minute with her? Why wouldn't I just be happy she wanted hugs from me? Why didn't I give her hugs every 2 seconds and hold her as tight as possible? The mistakes that I made began to make me feel like I was a part of the reason she passed. I feel like if I didn't make the mistakes I did, she could have been here for longer. This led to me creating the mistake of not grieving. I automatically try to forget about that day, but every 30th of each month, my heart hurts. I only took off 1 day from school because I wanted to be distracted. I was in disbelief and didn't want to believe that she was actually gone. I wanted to believe that she was still in the hospital receiving treatment to become healthy. I wanted to wake up and believe this was all just a nightmare. I began to dig myself in a hole, not knowing that it was changing me for the worst. I knew that Ashlynn that laughed about every little thing. Ashlynn that loves to hang out with her friends all the time. This Ashlynn was slowly disappearing because I blamed myself for my Gigi passing, but there was nothing I could do. I began to be a person I never thought I would be. I mentally blocked out everything that happened with my Gigi and faked a smile every day to be the Ashlynn my friends and family love to be around. To this day, I still have not fully healed and I do not want to come to terms with the mistakes that I've made. But I have grown a lot. That is mainly because of the birth of my niece, Layton Maisie Dennis. A month after my great-grandmother passed, the most beautiful baby was born. Her middle name was my Gigi's maiden name, which makes it so special. Layton is my Gigi. She's my comfort human that I go to whenever I don't feel the best. I have made sure to not make the same mistake again with Layton, so I give her a limited amount of hugs and kisses. I give her the love that I wish I shared with my Gigi while she was still here. Layton is the reason why I'm beginning to learn that mistakes are not the end of the world. She has made me realize that there is still someone there to love you endlessly, even if you feel like there isn't anyone. While I am currently experiencing my senior year, I have come to terms that I will make even more mistakes. Making mistakes is an inevitable part of life. There is not a handbook to life, and there never will be one. Imperfections are what make us humans. It's normal. While you are experiencing growing up, just remember that you are not alone. Everyone is trying to figure out how to get through life. There are millions of ways to live life, and all of us are just experiencing one of the ways. No matter what age you are, it is important to know that mistakes do not define you as a person. This is something that will take time to understand. Even I am still trying to process it. Mistakes are not the end of the world. Even if you make a mistake, there will still be someone there to remind you that you are not alone. Thank you.
Our third speaker today is Azaria Puryear. Azaria will be introduced by the middle school counselor, Ms. Edelin.
Good morning. Kyla, Ashlynn, well done. My name is Kate Edelin. I'm the middle school counselor. To introduce Azaria Puryear is an honor I do not take for granted. Azaria will talk about that, not taking for granted special moments in your life. Sometimes you'll know at the time a moment is special, like this one is for me. Other times, only later will you realize the moment was priceless and gone, and you don't want to forget it. Azaria, in middle school, you wrote me an email I've kept so that I'll never forget it. And part of it read, "Thank you for listening to my melodramatic reasons for stress. Thank you for listening to my stupid stories. If I didn't tell you enough at the time, None of it was stupid. It was appropriately middle school melodramatic, and it was all important to you, which made it important to me. You were, and still are, strong, self-aware, sassy, tough on the outside, soft on the inside. And you're willing to ask for help, which makes you even stronger. I hope my son and daughter grow up with an inner strength like yours, knowing that their voices and stresses and stories are important, as I hope you know yours are. Your speech today is a beautiful mix of humor and pain, and I have a feeling that everyone in your family, here in the room or not, will be very proud of you. Azaria.
Hi, everybody. Okay. It has been exactly 3,652 days, 12 hours, 45 minutes, and 53 seconds since the day I said goodbye to my parents for the last time. Although it has been 10 years, it feels like just yesterday I was cuddling with my mom, pleading with her to stop doing a client's hair to play with me, and tagging along with my dad with the hope of going on a Fort Knox commissary field trip so that I could secure a Barbie cookie. Thinking about the short 8 years of memory shared between my parents and I made me realize just how many things have changed since that fateful night, so I'd like to dedicate this time to my parents and all that we were robbed of sharing together. Dear Mom and Dad, it's your not so little anymore littlest baby. I think I should start by saying that I do not enjoy Barbie cookies anymore because the taste of frosting nauseates me. I also discovered that I have a strong disdain toward marshmallows and fruit snacks, but we don't have to get into that. The morning that I found out that your souls had departed your bodies, I was furious. My 8-year-old mind and soul were overcome with grief, yet the one thing that I couldn't figure out is why you both left Daisy and I behind. I felt betrayed, because what 8-year-old deserves to find out that her parents, the people who would teach her how to do life, had just died after waiting the whole night for her mom to come home? What 17-year-old girl deserves to find out that her mother and chosen father who had taught her how to do life were now not there to see her apply all of the lessons? Those are the big questions I tried to wrap my 8-year-old mind around for about 2 hours after everything had happened. Those questions played in my mind until I heard both of your voices telling me, it'll all be okay, you're still our baby. I always knew, but now I really understand that it was never the intention to leave Daisy and I, hurt us, or shatter the ground from underneath our feet. But I would have never made that realization if it weren't for the absolute powerhouse that I get the privilege of calling my sister, Daisy. She's a superhero mom, sister, support system, friend, mentor, cheerleader, and an absolute pro at making the impossible possible. She's the one I pester with common sense questions and every mystery symptom I present with. Even though she's by no means an outwardly affectionate person, she still makes hugging and kissing me goodnight feel like it was her favorite part of the day. I used to call her Sister Mommy, even when you both were still here, but now that term has a new meaning because she has gone above and beyond fulfilling it. I wish you both could have actually met Tai Tai. He's the most selfless, caring, pure, supportive, and devoted brother and dad in the world. I truly don't know any 18-year-old who would have given up their entire young adulthood to love and support their girlfriend and her little sister unconditionally, but that is a testament to him being one of a kind. He's the one I can always count on to give me long hugs, make me smile, go to McDonald's, even when Daisy is actively cooking dinner at home, and run all of my boy problems by. One of the biggest 3 things you've both missed out on is the birth of 3 physical manifestations of love, happiness, and all things perfect. Your grandsons, Aiden, Noah, and Israel, are the best kids you could ever ask for. Aiden is the most seriously unserious, hilarious, and sweetest 7-year-old there is. He never fails to make the entire family laugh with his not-so-age-appropriate jokes that come from Deadpool or the Mick. Despite my initial beliefs, he's also a pretty amazing drummer. Noah, the walking biohazard, is much more than his disgusting toddler disguised as a cutie pie exterior. He is curious, creative, innovative, sweet as pie, and has quite the talent for singing. Israel, the littlest, is the most precious baby. I can't give a fair description of him because he is only 3 months old, but so far I can tell that he is extremely serious and passionate when it comes to eating. There are many things that have happened, but selfishly I wish more than anything that you both could have been there for all the big moments that have happened and the ones that are yet to come. I wish you guys could have been here for my first year of high school to tell me that my taste in boys was awful. Discipline me when I needed it, meet my teachers, and comfort me through friendship heartbreaks my sophomore year. I wish you were there to instill the confidence in me that I lost my junior year, see me turn 18, and now watch me give this speech and graduate this year. I think about you both constantly saddened about what we didn't get to spend together, but through Daisy, I get to reflect on the times that we did spend together and feel a sense of gratitude. In obituaries, there's a section listing the surviving family members. I never understood this until recently when I looked over at Daisy and thought, wow, she looks just like Mommy. We were put as the surviving family members because both of your images are constantly portrayed through us. Mommy, Daisy is you, and you are her. Not only do you look identical, but Daisy constantly demonstrates the same traits of being a perfect mom and lover of God as you did. Noah's blessed with the same chocolate skin that you had, and the same smile that lit up a room. Dad, Daisy and I both show the same strength you always taught us, and are never afraid to make an awful situation hilarious. Now is where I say thank you for everything that you both have given Daisy and I. The traits you both have passed down, the memories we made, and the values instilled in us are truly one of a kind. As a teenager, it's easy to fixate on the shortcomings of your parents and use it as an excuse to shy away from them. But please know that life cannot promise you anything other than the fact that it is unpredictable and extremely short. Everyone hug your daisies and tie-ties, or those who take care of you without the official titles of Daisy and tie-tie. Thank them for all they do for you and cherish every moment you have with them. Hug the Aiden, Noah, and Israels in your lives for all the lessons and experiences they have taught you and will continue to teach you. Work tirelessly to ensure that your littles feel every ounce of love. To my Daisy and Tata, thank you for giving me the privilege of taking on the first child role in the family that you both have created. Thank you for continuing to choose and love me even when I make unlikable decisions. And thank you for being the best parents a girl could ask for. To my Aiden, Noah, and Israel, thank you for allowing me to be your big sister and auntie. Being you all's aunt is the highlight of my life. And even though I'll be going away to college next year, I promise I will still be present for every boys' night we have. Now to all of you, look around and take in your surroundings. You will only experience this exact moment once, and when it's gone, it cannot be brought back. Thank the teachers around you for providing a space for you to grow your minds and individuality. Thank your friends for being the people who make your hardest days a little bit better. And thank your parents for giving you the gift of life and nurturing you every step of the way. Now, finally, I can say this concludes my senior speech. Love, Azaria.